Joined now by a titan of his industry, David Falk, really revolutionized the agent game. You've represented hundreds and hundreds of athletes through the years, but it's one guy in particular, obviously, David, that we want to talk to you about, and that's a guy that you've been repping since he came out of Carolina. That's Michael Jordan. And this project that's come together, I'm just curious what you've made of it now that you're watching the story that you've lived from the beginning.
Well, two things, Scott. First of all, most fans of sports see their idols, their heroes on the field, on the court, and they don't really get to know the inside. And so this documentary, it really gives you a very insider's view of the game in general, and in particular, what really made Michael Jordan the incredible GOAT of all time. It wasn't simply his jumping ability, it wasn't his speed, it was his mind. He had the most incredible psychological approach to the game, and that elevated him to a level that I don't think will ever be repeated again.
David, to take me inside that mind a little bit about the process of doing this, because much has been made that, look, this footage obviously isn't new. It's been sitting around for a while. What had to happen? Maybe you coaxed him a little bit? Like, how did that process work to finally get it made?
Well, we've been talking about this literally almost for 30 years. I mean, this was really David Stern's brainchild. And for a long time, Michael really wasn't interested in having it made. The rules don't allow you to represent players and owners. So when he became an owner, I don't have a formal relationship with him. And I just think he got to the point where he's 57 years old. He wanted to see the story told. I mean, there are people who surmise that maybe while he will never succumb to comparisons with Kobe or LeBron or Kareem or Bill Russell or anyone else, like when you watch this doc, and I'm very biased because Michael's my friend, if you are not legally blind and you watch this 10 hours and don't realize this is the greatest player of all time, you should probably start watching roller derby. His approach, his concentration, his devotion, unparalleled.
Many people, and I'm one of them, David, at the end of the 7th episode, when we saw his emotions move him to the point that he needed to take that break, we got a glimpse at something that you would understand, being as close to him as you have for all these years. What did that strike you? Like, were you not surprised necessarily, but what did you make of him allowing his emotions to finally be seen by people in a way that we really had never seen before?
I was mildly surprised because he's always kept that to himself. But Michael's very comfortable with who he is, and he was very confident in that, and he wasn't afraid to be criticized. He's being criticized today, and I think it was great that he let his emotions show because he was so close to his father. I mean, his father, James, is one of the really. I mean, we spent a lot of time together on the road. Just a really amazing person to be around. His mom, Dolores, looks exactly as she looked when I met her.
It's amazing. She refuses to age.
They're really amazing people. And if you wonder why Michael is as competitive as he is, you just have to meet his parents. And that's a lot a function of the upbringing he received from James and Dolores.
You told the story in the documentary, obviously, as his agent then, as you say correctly now, I misspoke earlier. Obviously, he's an owner. He can't be representing the guy as an owner. But you go back in the doc with us to when Nike's hoping to sell $3 million worth of the shoes over the life of the contract, and you sell 120 some odd million in 1 year. But the fact, David, that brand is still iconic. He's 57 years old. I mean, that brand is still that brand. What accounts for that? Why is that?
I think there's a couple of reasons. I think when Michael played on the court, he was incredible. But off the court, he was always Michael Jordan. He was just playing himself, and he was extremely genuine. And the fact that he stood the test of time for all these years is something I'm really proud of. I mean, I think we created a great brand. It took a lot of discipline. It took a lot of foresight. And it mostly took the greatest player of all time, who is unbelievably loyal.
He's a loyal guy, as this documentary has certainly illustrated, and as your words attest to, David. Appreciate the time, and I'll be back that way soon, so you and you're going to have to see me in person at these dinners where my friends and you sit down, so I look forward to that.
I look forward to it as well. Always good to be with you, and I can't wait to episode 9. I've seen the first 8. I haven't seen 9 and 10, so I'm going to be a fan in my living room watching 9 and 10 over the next couple of weeks. I can't wait.
I have a feeling it's going to all work out. Thanks, David.
Thanks so much.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.